day. Step inside, I give thanks and the highest praise. Ground myself to Mama Earth, connect out the space. Within the hallways of the heart, the mind and the state of being that I am as I vibrate. At a ring, oscillate like quartz crystal, Mama May, Earth brother, I know.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Sunday live stream. Hopefully you can hear me now. This is a brand new system, everything's slightly different, so expect a few mistakes. At least I spotted it at the beginning rather than kind of waiting half an hour to get into the stream. How is everybody? Is everything good? Is everything okay? I'm using a new system called Melon of every kind of thing now. Yeah, we'll see. It lets you do loads of wonderfully new things. It's a bit like StreamYard, which is the system that we did before, but it's called Melon. And yeah, just took a drink. Yeah, I don't know. People listening rather than viewing probably wouldn't have noticed that I was muted at the beginning because the music was still fading away. But I was. I'll admit it. I'll have a small glass of water. Lovely. Sadly, one of the fails is the Mr. Wiggly horn isn't working today, largely because literally everything's changed. The house network has changed, the camera settings changed. I've upgraded the Macs up to whatever the latest Mac thing is, which was super scary. We're up to Mojave, isn't it? Is it Mojave now? From Catalina. So that was a huge jump. And everything works. It's amazing. Literally everything works. Not only that, but my old Mac Pro 2013 is faster than before. So, you know, God is shining on us. The God of Macs is shining on us today. The only reason that the Wiggly horn isn't working is because the network's changed and I've lost it on the network somewhere and I couldn't find it. However, alerts should be working, which is a brand new thing. It has integrated alerts and does stuff that I can push over the whole screen when everyone's on there. So, for example, let me see what I can find. Like, if you're new to the channel, what you should do is like and subscribe. How cool is that? Ding ding, and things like that. And hopefully, if we do get a super chat at some stage, cross fingers, something will pop up and say it. It's not as fun as the horn, but that will be live up and running in time for next week. Next week is the 60th show, so it's obviously our 60th birthday, and we will be having at least Kent Spong and Ty Unwin back in the place. Some other special guests coming on. Inky should be on. However, she's going to see her family, I think, so we'll check in with her. We do have a picture somewhere of Inky's travels going to see her family. Let's just see if I can actually make this thing work, because the more I do, I guess, the more used to it I will get. Inky travelling off to see her family, just off from SpaceX there. She took off yesterday. Hopefully she'll be there in time for the 60th show, so please tune in for that. The horn will be working. We'll do a massive fundraiser. Yeah, it'd be cool. Now Andrew Brooks has just tested. Look at that. I don't think anything actually happened, did it? Okay, well, I'll need to get rid of Inky to start with as well. Put me back up a second. Oh gosh, stand by. Maybe that bit isn't actually working. That would be a bit sad if that was the case. 1 second. Not that one. That one back to me again. There we go. All right, I'll get used to this over the next week or two. Sadly, then, it doesn't seem like the super chats are going, but we'll see. It sometimes can take a few minutes to kick off. Well, something happened. That sounds like a super chat horn to me, but nothing actually appeared on screen. So hold on, let me just check that whilst we're here. I won't keep you, honestly. Just talk amongst yourselves just for a minute. Let me just see here. I think that honk was definitely something to do with super chats. Where is the alert box? Let's have a look. Can't see one. Chat box. All right, we'll get back to it in a second. We'll see. Hold off on any donations. We can talk about that later as soon as they all start working, but I'm sure they will start working, I hope. We have a fantastic guest on today. His name is Chris Stack, and he was the ex-marketing manager for Moog. Which is absolutely wonderful. I can see a donation as well from Richard Hilton. Thank you so much, sir. We are hornless, absolutely hornless. So thank you so much to Richard Hilton. And thank you so much from Andrew Brooks for the tests. I will make these up to you next week. And Andrew Brooks appears to have done 2 lots, so we shall see. But thank you so much. Just, oh my gosh! It's not the same as a horn, is it? But I'm sure that is firing off because Kent Spong has just given us £50 as well. Thank you so much. So that is just insanely brilliant. Absolutely insanely brilliant. You're just a wonderful person. Thank you so much. I don't quite know what I can do to make this thing come on, but I will check in a moment. But we've already got literally just tons and tons, like about £70-80 already. So thank you so much. All the donations go through to Great Ormond Street Children's Hospital, which is an absolutely brilliant hospital for kids based in the UK. I'll go through this very quickly now for you before we go to our wonderful guest, because last week we raised another £100 or so, I think, just under 100. So the money was absolutely brilliant, and we have, I think, a new grand total for you, which is, let me see if I can find it. There you go, $7,677 or £6,325. I have a feeling next week we might crack £6,500, which is probably close to $8,000 if we do a good job. Thank you so much to absolutely everybody who has contributed to that. Kent is just an amazing contributor. So Andrew as well. I just literally just to everybody. Thank you so much. I might even have a new Kent video here. Just trying to drive this thing. Let's have a look. Here we go. Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong? There's a honk on the end of that. Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong? You can have it twice because you're so amazing. All right, well, this is a good practice for me anyway. Hello to that. Loads of people already in the chat. Too many to go through. Azio Head, Paul Artola, Tony Duncan, Wagyu, Richard Hilton, hello to you, sir. Rotten Circuits, Jim Glue, just so many. Inky, hi to you, thanks for coming along. Inky is obviously queen of all the moderators. There are some extra mods in the chat as well because we're getting spammed occasionally by some bots within YouTube. So thank you very much to all of those. No one's ever naughty in the chat whatsoever, so it's absolutely brilliant, but I'm sure they won't be needed. But if you need any help, ping them. Di Stanton, man, thank you so much. £20 from Di Stanton. This is absolutely brilliant. Thank you. And I will absolutely 100%. What I'll probably do is go live a bit later or on Monday and put some racks in, put some modules in my modular rack. So it'll be a super boring stream, but I can get everything out the way and get it working. Thank you, Di Stanton. That's absolutely wonderful. We've got the honk, but we haven't got the pop-up on the screen. So brilliant. Much appreciated. Anyway, just before we get too bogged down, we're already about 3/4 of the way through the show, I guess. Let's go live to the very wonderful Chris Stack. How are you doing, sir? Let's have a look. Get you on screen. Good. Oh, look, we've got crazy stuff going on. Hang on a second. Where are you? Push you up there. There you are.
Hello.
Man, hi. Just 1 second. I do apologise for all this kind of weirdness. Show me. Right. Well, that's looking pretty good. How are you doing? Let me worry about all the other bits, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. How are you, sir?
Oh, doing well. It's a sunny, warm Sunday here in South Carolina.
What's sunny in South Carolina?
Oh, just the weather.
No, I mean what temperature? Because we've had this crazy kind of.
I think it may be cooler here than it is there. Let me see. 86 Fahrenheit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's hot for us. I mean, we're having this heat wave at the moment, and that's pretty much. But for us, that's like don't go outside kind of weather. It's it's anything above that, we're just not used to it. And of course, houses over here don't have cooling aircon. We just have stuff to keep us warm because who would need aircon? Who would need aircon in the UK, right? Thank you so much for joining us. Absolutely brilliant of you to come along. And you are a man of many talents. And I wasn't really sure where to start, but what fascinates me is the connection with Moog, which is brilliant because your time there was just post Robert Moog's passing. I think you obviously you worked with him before he passed away, and you were involved in that whole kind of process, I think. So that we can talk about as well, perhaps later on. And you've obviously got your fingers in many. You just kind of live for music, I guess. I guess I wondered how it all started. I usually kind of ask people, what got you into it? A lot of people say, "Oh, I heard a song and I wanted to know how to make it." But what was the deal for you?
Well, for me, we had a piano in the house when I was growing up, and my mother played, not a lot, but some, just enough to get me interested. And I actually had my first piano lessons in a Catholic school convent. So I had one of the fully black draped nuns and stuff teaching me piano. And luckily I had a nice one. So it was not
wow.
Yeah, not a traumatic process like it is for some people.
Of course.
I didn't stick with it too long, but the piano was always there. So I was always just kind of poking around on it. And then, probably when I was 8 or 9, I took a couple of guitar lessons, just enough to learn, where E, F, and G were on the strings and stuff, and didn't really have a good guitar to play with. But when I was 15 or so, a lot of my friends started getting into guitar, and they taught me the chords. And so from learning the chords on guitar, I figured out what they were on piano. So I kind of went back and forth.
So it was that way round. Gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I went back and forth. I learned something on piano, applied it to guitar. I learned something on guitar, applied it to piano. And next thing you know, I'm adding more instruments into the mix, flutes, various things. Yeah.
And what age was that?
The guitar, when I started really playing guitar, 17 or so.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So that's and music at that time.
Well, I was living in South Carolina at that point. Now I should back up a little bit. I was born in Western Pennsylvania, and that's where I went to the Catholic school, 1st through 4th grade.
Right.
And then we moved to Atlanta, and I lived there from 68 to 72. So that was right around the summer of love. And Atlanta was, although it was in the South, was a big city. So I kind of became a hippie back then. Nice. I actually, to some extent, I was maybe at the very beginning of that, you would have almost considered me a mod.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my grandfather worked in a men's clothing store, and he hooked me up with some Austin Powers kind of duds.
Hey,
and,
brilliant.
I wore that in probably 7th grade, 8th grade. It changed to, ripped up jeans and headbands and stuff.
Do you know what? I never associate mods in the US. It just seems like such a quirky UK kind of culture. It's weird.
I was one of the few.
Yeah, no, it's such a brilliant, subculture over here. And it comes back. I mean, obviously, it was big in the 60s. It came back when I was at school, in the 80s, just before the New Romantics kicked off. And it's about time. But people like suits ultimately, and they get an excuse to look smart. It's a good culture.
Yeah, but back around my mod period, Switched on Bach had just came out, and I was in music school and elementary school, and the teacher played it for us, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? I Star Trek had just come out too, so it was kind of like music, and the Beatles, and so I was becoming aware of music and the lure of stardom and all that stuff. But something that combined like Star Trek and music was just fascinating to me. It's like, that's what I want to do when I grow up.
Fabulous. Chat's asking for some pics of you as a mod, so this is definitely something you need to
I'll see what I can. I tell you what, I know a lot of y'all are friends of mine on Facebook, so watch my Facebook stream
definitely.
after this.
Definitely.
I think I have 1 or 2 very old grainy ones of me as a mod, and then I have a number of them later on with hair down to here and stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say, so Switched on Bach kind of got me interested in synthesizers, and I had no real access to them then at all. Nobody did really. I think it was a number of years later, I saw in keyboard, I started reading Keyboard Magazine, which was contemporary keyboard back then, and saw somewhere where you could write to the ARP company and they would send you some brochures. So they sent me a brochure for the Pro Soloist, the Odyssey, the 2600 and the 2500.
Wow.
And those were my treasured possessions for years until I got my first synthesizer.
Goodness me. Well, unfortunately, Dina Perlman's not, I don't think she's around today. She was watching the stream last week. I'd love to get her on and chat to her with the Dina Perlman Foundation. But yeah, that would make her day, because honestly...
I think I've told her that story. She was in Asheville for a Moogseum event once, and she and I got to chat a little bit. So I think I may have told her about that.
Yeah, isn't it amazing? I mean, I don't think I've got them anymore. They may be upstairs in my mum's house or something. But the double page of the Jupiter 8 and the kind of brochures we used to be given out at music shops way back in the day, and just sort of, and actually just used to read them. We didn't have the internet. Used to look at this page again. It never used to change, but wonderful. Richard Hilton saying it has a giant collection of vintage keyboard literature. I mean, that's something, actually. What a great thing. I mean, scanning and publishing that kind of stuff as well. Obviously, owning the original is brilliant, but actually making that available as a resource, that would be. I
think my friend and bandmate Gary Yelton has a big collection too.
Nice.
One of the editors at Electronic Musician for a number of years, along with a bunch of other stuff.
Was it? I'm just trying to think. International Musician and Recording World was a magazine back then, which I think was published by Desmond, who went into a load of other publications, ended up owning the Mirror or something, I think, or the Express. But that was a proper magazine, actually, back in the day, with decent, interviews with some proper people at the time. And there wasn't that much about, so I remember feeling excited about that magazine coming out, before.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. We used to get Future Music and Computer Music.
Yeah.
Over here in the U.S. quite a bit.
What's that saying? Lady Aptitude is saying Gary was one of the editors when I wrote for EM. Oh, it's that Electronic Musician. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing. So now we've got the internet. Obviously, it's all a little bit bit different. So synths came along, and had you been if you had to choose between guitar and keyboards at the time, were you along the guitar route until keyboards, synths popped in and became cool?
Well, I always kind of wanted to mix it up. One album that was a big influence on me was Mike Oldfield's Tubular Bells.
Oh, yes.
And when that came out, it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to choose just one instrument?
Yeah, exactly.
And so I kind of, from very early on, had my sights set on being a multi-instrumentalist.
Right.
And then, pretty much did it. One of the next big, after Switched on Bach, probably the next big musical influence for me, it was a friend of mine loaned me a copy of Close to the Edge.
Oh, Art of Noise. Oh, just quickly, Jim, if you're still watching, Jim Glue, it is going to be your 50th birthday. Whoops, is that Jim Glue? Up here, hide on the stream. It's 50th birthday on Thursday. So huge love in the chat, please, for Jim.
Oh, yeah.
Big old 50th. It's our 60th next week, but that's only 60 weeks, not 60 years. So it just gives us an excuse to have a party every 10 weeks. But yeah, Jim, I know you're going to do an EMOM type open mic, so hopefully you just caught it on the stream before you disappeared. Have a brilliant time. Hopefully you'll stream it. And we're all getting old. Absolutely.
Been really enjoying his streams of some of the other ones.
Yeah, totally. It's absolutely brilliant. What a nice guy. I met him at the UK Synth Festy thing as well. And really nice guy. It's weird meeting people like that you know already. It's exactly as I expected, Very odd when you know someone well, just kind of at a distance through the web. But yeah, have a good one. Yeah, he did see it. He's saying thanks. So that's really cool. So you were, it's multi-instrumentalist and your synth thing. So what synth were you buying back then? What was the
Well, my very first one, living in Spartanburg, South Carolina, we didn't have a huge choice. It was whatever showed up in the music stores. Buying by mail was not a thing anybody would think about back then. My first synth was a Korg micro preset.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
What's that? I'm just trying to think. What's that like then?
It keyboard over here. It had a music stand built into it.
Right.
Idea of what vintage that was. kind of a control panel on the side. It had a lot of presets built into it. You could hit by touching of a button, like oboe, clarinet,
Nice,
and very
nice.
basic, versions of them. But then there was it was almost like the CS80, where there was a bunch of presets, but there was a bit you could fiddle with. And the fiddly part had their Traveler cutoff frequency thing. So
Oh wow!
I pretty much stayed there.
It's weird, isn't it, when the synths were there to mimic other instruments. I mean, Roland were massive on that, to the point where, like, even my first synth, which was a JX3P, first kind of synth along with a it was a polysynth, and the kind of very early days of MIDI, still had a list of instrument buttons on the front.
Oh yeah,
It was an analog 2-oscillator synth. But it had, a flute preset and a strings preset, but they're really into sounding like that. And the whole thing, I always say, the whole thing with the Jupiters and everything else suddenly becoming useful as synths was almost an accident, all their work was in, we can make real instruments from electronics,
Yeah, the JX3P was my first MIDI synth.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, let me think. Had the micro preset, then the Korg 770 was my second.
Yeah.
Then I had graduated high school, went to college for a little bit, but wasn't really did okay, but wasn't really paying attention to it, and really wanted to buy synthesizers. So it's like I'm dropping out, I'm getting a job, and I'm buying synthesizers. So I went to work in a zinc die casting factory,
right,
lifting 20,000 pounds of metal a day. Took out a loan and bought a Micro Moog and a Crewmark Reformer.
Wow, that's nice. Yeah.
So
that's
that was
nice.
my.
Wow, that's not bad for back then. Mine, JX3P and an SH101 were my first things. So it's probably into it just slightly after you. But I mean,
I got an SH101 too. I bought both of those right as they came out.
You and me the same. There you go then. Exactly. I still have them. here.
Oh, I wish I did.
Yeah, they're really, really nice. The JX3P has a Kiwi retrofit on it, which gives it kind of touch sensitivity and extra work, extra kind of envelopes and stuff. And the 101 has a MIDI retrofit, which actually is massive. It was one of the first ones that Kentronics made, and it's almost as big as the board inside the 101. If you open it up, it's like all squashed in, but it works. Yeah. It absolutely works.
Yeah, I was kicking myself. I sold my 101 right before I started going to work at Moog. And I got there and it's like, why didn't I keep that synth that had control voltage?
Yes. Yeah, you forget. I forget it's got control voltage, actually. That's so funny. Yeah. No, everyone was like, I don't need that. I need MIDI. And now we're all back into a bit of modular and a few bits and pieces like that. It's perfect for it. Yeah. Rotten Circuits is saying he's just bought a Juno 60 from an estate sale. Wow. That's a find.
Nice.
Those things, honestly, the 60s and the 106s compared to the GX3P, they sound a bit better to me still. The JX3P is a bit different, but let's not go down that.
I had a Poly 61 Korg.
Right.
Before that, actually for a while I had the Poly 61 and the JX3P, and then I had one of those Yamaha CP30 electric pianos, one where like the case was part of it, the top came off and became the legs. Yeah,
totally. I mean, I was in a band with the singer was a really good keyboard player. Oh, hi girls. Family's arriving, which is going to be interesting given the camera situation, but let's see. He was a really, really good keyboard player. I had a Juno 106 and it used to really sound better than my 3P, and a lot of it, some of it was he was just so much of a better player. But the other bits are, basically it just sounded fatter, to be honest. Okay, welcome Loullamae. How are you doing? Oh, let me switch your switch. You need some headphones, please. And plug those in. Sorry about the fan noise in the background. It's so hot in here. Hey, Mrs. Wiggly, how are you doing?
Hi. Hello. Hi, Chris.
Hello, all. Hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Got an echo from you.
Chat.
Okay, hold on one second. I'm just going to see what's happening with Mrs. Wiggly's echo.
Hello.
It's a new system. It's so exciting.
Echoing.
Why would you be echoing? That's because of that. There you go. All right. So here,
much better.
There is the chat.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Right, that's better.
Yeah, we're working a new system today, so it's all a little bit fly-by-wire. I'm hoping that button I pressed will have killed the echo. Did it sort it out?
I think so.
Echo! That's perfect.
So,
No echo.
yeah, actually, something I've been curious about. What part of the UK do you all live in?
Well, we live in West Sussex, which is south of London and above Brighton. So if you think of where London is in the UK, and you go down towards the sea, we're about halfway between the sea and London.
Oh, okay.
So Brighton is probably the second most exciting place in London. Well, actually, that's probably not true, because the people in Manchester will be very unhappy. Brighton's quite a funky place down near the sea, because it's probably the closest place to London that's near the sea.
Okay.
And we're kind of on the way down to that, so in the south. But we live in a kind of forest. I obviously can't really show you, but very trees and green. But if we need to get into London, it's about 35 minutes on a train. So
nice.
like 15 minutes to the station. So I used to live in West London, in a place called Chiswick, and that used to take me an hour to get into London Bridge door to door, and it's pretty much the same from here if I have to get into London Bridge door to door.
Yeah. I spent a few days in Clapham once.
Oh yes, or Clam is the posh name for Clapham.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, it was
It's just made up kind of thing.
Pretty cool.
I'll tell you more about that later as we talk about the Moog history.
Yeah,
But,
perfect.
Now, I guess it's not dark there yet, right?
No, but Loullamae is pretty dark, so let's just turn her up a little bit. No,
So
it's go on, sorry.
Oh, do you have fireflies over there?
Loullamae uses Firefly at school.
Software, yeah. No, I don't think we do we? We have those horrible ants that kind of sting you and stuff.
You know what they are, though, right?
Are they the flies that light up in the?
They are.
In the
I know.
night?
There's one buzzing around my room. Can you see it, Loullamae?
Let's just zoom in on you, see if we can see.
Oh, I got it.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
What?
God, it's hot, huh?
Oh man!
Oh my goodness.
I can't eat. Two of them.
Two?
This man's
Yeah,
a
we have-
genius. Just a
we have-
round of applause. That was incredible. Firefly juggling. That's insane. Mrs. Wiggly, can you just say something and I'll check your mic?
Hello?
Does that sound all right?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Can I just say hello to the chat?
Yes.
Hello, chat.
Yep.
I haven't introduced you, probably. This is Chris Stack, Mrs. Wiggly.
Hello.
Loullamae.
Hello.
Hello.
We have a quiz for you.
Okay, I've
Get
been
somebody
studying.
saying you could charge admission for shows like this. Well, you never know. No, the admission is that if you can spare a couple of pennies for Great Ormond Street, then that's all we
That
need.
looks different.
It does. This is this brand new. This brand new thing. This brand new streaming software that we've got. So it's all a little bit different today, but it seems to be working a bit faster, and you can do stuff in it that you can't on the other one. I should have run it past you first, really.
Like what?
Like, now you put me on the spot. I can do things like run stuff all over the front with everyone, like we're all here on screen,
Yeah.
right? So if I want, I could run this. Kent Spong, can you tell me what's wrong? It appears all over the top, right? And obviously, oh, that's echoing as well. Okay.
You're-
Like and subscribe. Yeah. Now it stopped echoing.
Cheese babies.
How weird. Okay. No, we're definitely echoing again. Who have I unmuted that...
Echo.
Yeah, you're very echoey.
Echo.
Everyone's
So,
echoey.
You're echoey. Let me see. Now, I shouldn't have done that. So, let's take that off. Try that. 1, 2,
There.
3. There you go. All right. Can we hear you, Mrs. Wiggly?
Hello?
Yes. All right. So, also, when I do things like that, it makes it all echoey. That's new. Never used to do that, did it? So, that's a good thing, too. We have a quiz for you. So, if you're in the chat, make sure you're looking at all the chat, not the selected chat, are the words that I always forget. We don't have a horn as well, so you're not going to be knocks
A
off.
horn.
No, we don't have a horn at the moment, I'm afraid.
Why?
Because it's one of the casualties of the new system. It'll be back up next week for the 60th birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, make sure there is no prizes in this, but Loullamae has made up all the questions. It's all for Great Ormond Street, so if you can spare a couple of pounds afterwards and you'd like to donate to Great Ormond Street, pop us a super chat or whatever. All the money, including the bit that YouTube take, we make up, so it all goes to Great Ormond Street. And if you'd like to donate directly outside of here, mrwiggly.co.uk/gosh is the way to go. That'll take you just to the Just Giving page. That's mrwiggly, mrwiggly.co.uk/gosh for Great Ormond Street Hospital. But that's nothing to do with the quiz. So let's see what's going on. Are we kind of ready? It'll be interesting to see if I can actually pull this off. But yeah, are you ready, Loullamae? So everyone in the chat, hopefully, if you're new to this, you'll kind of get the idea. Chris has an advantage because the chat is very slightly delayed, so he gets his first couple of answers in faster, and everyone else just piles in straight afterwards. Mrs. Wiggly has a... You never know.
I don't see a chat on when I look here.
Oh, okay. Do you see a little icon on the right-hand side running from the top? There's a chat icon. There's actually 4. There's a red face. So look down the right-hand side of the screen. There's a show chat icon.
Okay.
Got it?
I see it.
Yeah, that's the amalgamated chat from Facebook and Twitch and everywhere. If you are watching on Facebook or Twitch, come over to YouTube if you want. Just go to YouTube, search Mr. Wiggly. You'll see the stream because there's a lot more fun going on. Can you see all of that now?
I can, although it's kind of hard for me to type up where my laptop is. So
Don't type. You can speak. That's the other advantage that you have.
Oh, okay.
So you can just shout out the answer, and everyone else has a delay, and they have to type. But the point is that Wagyu kind of gets it anyway, to be honest. But we still go through the motions. So, all right, Loullamae, are you ready?
Yeah.
Mrs. Wiggly, are you ready?
Yeah, I think this competition, with the blinking competition, somebody in the chat, was it Gates Money Music?
Gethsemane, yeah.
Yeah, he's been blinking, I think, for 22 minutes already. Oh, he hasn't blinked for 22 minutes.
It's not started yet. But to be fair, I mean, you would win hands down, I think, with that on that basis. Okay. Are you ready, Chris?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Get ready for the quiz.
What fun thing why is it echoing? What fun thing did I do with Ella when she came for a sleepover?
What fun thing did Loullamae do with Ella when she came for a sleepover?
Baked cookies.
No. You can have another go, though.
As many goes as you want.
Played video games.
No.
No.
Played Duck Hunt. Says Wagyu. It's a game, I guess. Duck Hunt. I'd like to go Duck Hunt. Wow. I'll tell you what, there's not that much of a delay on this chat. Sasquatch did win last week, I think, actually, Wagyu. I've always thought that you and Sasquatch, because I've never seen Sasquatch in real life, I've always thought you were the same people. You never see you in the same place twice. Played makeup, baked cookies. Will Joseph says played drums, camp in the garden. This involves going out to somewhere and having an instructor.
Oh. Went roller skating.
Not roller skating. It's kind of hard.
Ice skating?
You don't normally associate it with children. It's more of a... Oh! Who said that? Magic Box Studios!
Oh, wow.
That is incredible!
Oh, wow.
Magic Box Studios straight into the lead with 1 point. I never ever thought that, that anyone would get that.
Yoga.
Yeah, yoga. Well done, sir. Well done. Well, I think Wagyu has got some competition going on.
Yoga is fun? Question mark. It was a bit of a workshop, like a children's workshop.
Get so many saying it's painful.
A little bit of yoga, but more fun things.
Have you ever done yoga, Chris?
I have. It's been a while. Asheville is a very yoga city, though.
Oh.
If you ever visit, bring your yoga mat.
I will. Actually, I don't have one. Mrs. Weed, can I borrow your yoga mat?
Nope.
Okay.
Not going anywhere near my mat.
Okay, well, with that, are you ready for the next question? Let's see how it goes. We'll look on the next one.
What's Hazel's favourite treat?
What is Hazel's favourite treat?
I have a puppy update.
Oh, and a puppy update as well. So Hazel is a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel.
I just bought my sister's dog some salmon skin treats from Trader Joe's.
That sounds good. That really
Oh,
does sound
Rabbit
good.
Bat.
Rabbit Bat's got it.
Rabbit Bat is there with something.
What was
Oh,
it? Is he?
Yeah, Rabbit Bat's got
Wagyu
carrots.
got carrots.
Yeah, but Rabbit Bat got there before him.
Rabbit Bat, you there? Hold on, I'll zoom in on you, sweetheart. On me?
Yeah. On you.
Oh.
This.
Well played, Rabbit Bat. Wagyu, what's going on? Oh, look, there she is. She's such a gorgeous puppy. Such a gorgeous puppy. Wow.
And
Wowzers.
another one. Because Hazel's
Whose camera are you on?
beautiful. Yours.
Oh, look at that. My word.
Wagyu said he had a dog that used to steal carrots from the vegetable rack.
This sounds like a Disney film. I had a Siamese cat who loved bacon, says Lady Aptitude.
Here's Hazel eating carrot, but blended carrot.
Are you on mine again?
Yeah.
Well, Frank used to love cheese.
Blended.
Oh, bless Frank. Wow. Yeah, carrot seems to be there. I mean, as a puppy, she only really eats kibble so far. Oh, Paul Talbot has got a cat called Thelonious, and he likes French.
French toast.
French something.
French toast.
Mice?
French toast.
French
oh,
toast.
on here I
French
can only see French.
What do you mean?
French
Look, it
toast.
just says French. Maybe my screen's
Is
chopping
there
them off.
French?
yeah, little
Oh,
coq au
yeah.
vin too.
Yeah, and on the right it doesn't say everything. Who likes dried chili? Lady Aptitude had a cat that likes chili. Like to catch
No,
fire. or
dried
something.
squid. Wagyu, my Siamese cat, loved dried squid.
I can understand squid actually.
Oh yeah. Was it Frankie or Sammy that just used to go bonkers with prawns?
Yes,
actually?
and Mr. Wiggly as well, and Loullamae to be fair.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Prawns. Well, what's the scores on the doors then, please, Mrs. Wiggly?
So we have Magic Box Studios with 1 and Rabbit Bat with 1.
Wow, everything to
An
play
open
for.
game.
Everything to play for. Okay, shout them out. I'm on Chris's side, so we need Chris to get in there. Okay. Let's get some video going. All right, next question coming up. Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Cool.
What film did I watch on my sleepover with Ella?
Try that again. Sorry, your mic's a bit weird.
What film did I watch on my sleepover with Ella?
What film did Loullamae watch on her sleepover with Ella?
Yeah.
Frozen, Little Mermaids, Fantasia, Minions, Howard the Duck, Buzz Lightyear, Grease, Die Hard, Princess Bride, Friday the 13th. Tony Duncan, what planet are you on?
What?
Friday the 13th is like a grown-up film, scary one. Tony Duncan, Lady and the Vagabond, I Dream of Wirras, Alien, Wagyu's got... my word.
What's
Toy Story,
Alien?
another scary film.
Is there a
Robot.
SpongeBob SquarePants movie?
Probably. Probably, but unfortunately, that's not correct. I think you might have gotten this time. It's quite famous.
Let's stick to PG films.
Is it PG?
The PG, yeah.
Okay.
Parental guidance. What? It's a PG film.
Wally, I love Wally. I'm going to Up. That's a good one too. It's. I think there's 3 of them, isn't there? There's at least 2.
There's like 4 or 3 of them. 4 or 3 of them.
Can't really give any clues without.
They're very good.
That's very good. Is that the clue?
Yeah. Very good.
E.T. Hello, Fat Dust. Lovely to see you. Not quite.
It has characters.
That's a good. Is it by any chance a film?
Yeah.
Wow, we're really narrowing it down here. Shrek, Star Trek.
Oh, I have a clue.
All right.
It has a dragon in it.
That's a massive clue.
These are poking me.
Massive clue. Shaft, says Richard Hilton. Shaft.
Yes, Dr. Synth.
Who's the man?
Hey!
Dr. Synth, How to Train Your Dragon. Well played, Dr. Synth. I thought we were never going to go home. That's brilliant. Well done. Well done indeed. So I don't think anyone is in the lead, right?
No. Magic Box, Rabbit Bag, Dr. Synth, all one.
My word. Okay. All right, so over to, I can see this is not the world's most easiest app to get around at the moment for firing off videos, but I'm doing my best. Here we go. Are you ready, Loullamae?
Yeah.
Ready with the next question? That's not the next question, is it? Here we
Echoing
go.
again. What is my favourite Disney movie?
What is Loullamae's favourite Disney movie?
Yeah.
All right, this one should be a bit easier, I think.
Snow White.
Nope.
No.
Should say really current.
It is current, actually. Very new. As in the last 6 months, I'd say.
You mean they haven't done a remake?
No, brand new.
Not yet.
101 Dalmatians, no Fantasia, no Bambi, no Little Mermaid, no. Have another go, Chris, although it's hard on the spot to think of Disney movies, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whilst you're thinking, I'm just going to going to fiddle with Mrs. Wiggly's mic.
Dr. Synth is kind of there. I think
Well.
we might actually.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, loads of people were kind of guessing it, but not the name.
Dr. Synth.
See this button here?
Yeah.
You just need to touch it.
The first person to get the right name will get it. Yeah, I think they're trying to get it, but
Oh, Dr. Synth's got it, right?
Well, Dr. Synth.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
He got the right name.
Dr. Synth, the name on the card,
Oh, he's in the lead.
has pushed straight into the lead. Dr. Synth,
Dr. Synth.
good work. Big up,
Good
Dr.
one.
Synth. We've only got 3 more questions left, plus a quick fire. All right, so Chris needs to go. What's the next question? Oh, staring competition. You can do this, Chris. Staring competition. Really?
What?
Nope. Staring competition. Are you ready? Oh, your camera is so close. All right. Are you judging, Mrs. Wiggly?
Are you all 3 of you are doing it?
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
People in the chat, you can do it as well. You just tell us if you lasted longer or not. I'm sure you'll be honest. You got to look in the camera, sweetheart. Ready?
Is this a no blinking staring contest?
Yeah, sorry, I
Okay.
should have explained. We're all ready. It's like, yeah. Yeah,
No,
no
one's
blinking.
competitive here. You can tell. Right. Ready?
Keep doing it.
Ready?
Ready. Steady. Go.
Oh,
Oh my
Shall we
goodness.
have another go? Have another go. Have another go. I think that's only fair. Guest gets 2 goes.
Right. Ready. Steady. Go.
I shouldn't put the fan. I'm going to go. Oh,
No, Loullamae's got that one.
it's the fan in the room, I tell you.
Yeah.
Well done, Loullamae. Anyone still going in the chat there?
But how can they do it?
Well, I trust them. Don't you trust them? How about eyebrow waggling and ear wiggling competitions?
What?
Richard Hilton wins. He said he's still going. You have an honesty jar. Well done, Loullamae. Oh, that was your chance, Chris.
Still
Sorry. I was trying too hard.
To be fair, I've got this massive fan blasting, and it just completely dries your
I
eyes
got a
out.
fan too. It's a fan coming to me as well.
It's true. It is big enough for both of us, isn't it? It's reaching through. Okay, well, we've got 2 more questions left. So, this is a good one. Okay, think hard. I guess that's the only thing I can say. All right, you ready, Loullamae?
Yep.
Let me just find the video button. Talk amongst yourselves.
Blah,
Video.
blah, blah.
Here we go. All right. Here we go.
What did Mummy do at 4:45?
What did Mummy do at 4:45 this afternoon, not this morning?
Had a late cup of tea.
No. Where is everybody?
Nowhere.
There we go. I'm getting there. So, yeah, what did Mummy do 4:45 today?
Will Joseph.
Has he got it right?
Yep.
Kent Spong. Can you tell
Will
me what's
Joseph,
wrong?
not Kent.
Ken, I can't find anything. I literally can't find anything on this system. Right, where's the chat gone? Here we go. Will Joseph. Will Joseph. Yay!
Why can't you find anything?
It's kind of all new. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. I can't. Will Joseph swimming.
No, he got it before. He mentioned it before.
Is that before swimming?
Yeah. Yeah, had a sleep, yeah.
Will Joseph had a sleep. It's true.
I did have a nap. I did. Far too hot in the UK at the moment not to.
A little disco nap. This is your last chance. Oh man. Well, the last one isn't really a proper question,
Here
is
it
it?
is. You get a point for it if you get it right.
Good call. Good call.
So it is.
It is. All right.
I'm
So
good at
2
answering
more
questions
going.
that aren't
2 more
questions.
questions. Yeah, if you can answer the question that isn't a question, you're going to be fine. Okay, well, as Richard Hilton, you can blink now. He said it's funny of me triggering on things. I think this whole thing's slowed down a bit. Never mind. Oh, incidentally, while we're here, and I found the video. Do you remember there was a Loullamae's? Was it a logic or a big question about cheese babies?
No, it was logic. If you throw a cheese at a baby, it will stop crying.
If you threw cheese, and no one believed us, and so we found the video of the baby. It's now turned into a massive craze, like a massive craze. So I found at least 4.
Really?
So this is cheese baby.
Piece of cheese at your baby to stop crying.
So it must work.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it must work. Literally, just all the time. It's just-
That's very timely for 2 different reasons.
Oh, okay.
Well, one, my niece just had a baby. And
Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't have any kids, but I am a great uncle now, so just went straight to that
You
stage.
need to stock up on the cheese.
Yeah, well, yeah. I better ask permission before I start throwing cheese at a baby. But the other thing was just last week we had some vandals in our neighborhood, and a couple of other cars got egged, but my nephew's car got cheesed, and it was with that
Cheesed?
same cheese. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Did you throw cheese at someone's car? A waste of good cheese.
It was.
My
Yeah.
word.
Well, I don't
My
think
word.
it wasn't actually good cheese, but
Wowzers. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. In fact, I can even have a button for that. It would be lovely if we can have you as a subscriber. Like and subscribe. And it also gives me an excuse to run that video over the top of us, which is kind of cool. But yeah, more subscribers the merrier. Do you know what? Mrs. Wiggly's mic pops up every time it... Never mind. I'll work it out. What was I going to say? Yeah, if you are interested in the Vector, I just did a Vector Synth review on the channel. So if you subscribed, you can go and have a look at that. It's really quite cool. And there's one on the T8 coming up next week, and then some on Soma. There's a lot of Soma kits sitting behind us. We're involved now. They've asked me to be involved in the UK for Soma, which is absolutely fantastic because it's probably one of the only synth manufacturers that I would kind of raise a flag for and go, yeah, I'd love to get involved with that because I love their stuff. So there's some more videos on that. Are you into Soma at all over there, Chris?
I'm not, but I think my friend Nick Montoya is involved with them in the US.
Oh, yes, that's why I know that name.
Yeah, Nick and Anna Montoya.
Yes, that's right. I think they've launched literally Soma US division, haven't they?
Yeah.
So they've done that, and they're trying to do a kind of Soma UK. At the moment, it's kind of like a support repair, but hopefully we'll grow to larger things after we quit after Brexit. So yeah, it's just nice to be involved. They're a bunch of lovely guys, and the American one is a much bigger. Kind of cool. They've got a really cool kind of retail space, I think, going on over there as well. Which I think he's got a big Soma tattoo on his wrist as well. So there's dedication for you. I haven't gone that far. Maybe Mrs. Wiggly, if I had a Soma across the front, do you reckon?
There's so many other words you can use.
It would show my commitment to the cause.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right, Loullamae, stand by for the next question. You ready?
How does the man in the moon get his hair cut?
How does the man in the moon cut his hair? I think that was my bad writing. I'm sorry about that. I wrote it for you, but very bad, Dad. How does the man in the moon cut his hair?
Oh, when the satellites are orbiting around it, they...
One blade at a time. Cheese grater Mac.
Thought there was a cheese connection.
I think we got.
I missed one.
Did you?
Did we do that one?
No, we didn't. We can do this one first, and you can do that one. Oh, you got an extra one with scissors, with sunlight. He's bald. Should we give it away? I think we're close on to running out. Buzz Aldrin cut. Buzz Aldrin cut is pretty good actually from Homegrown.
Eclipse it.
Eclipse it. Eclipse it. Yeah.
Somebody's got it in the chat.
Half God,
Oh, did they?
Half beast.
Half God, half beast.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Wow, my word. I went off too early. Half a point for a great one. Buzz Aldrin cut I thought was excellent from Homegrown. He definitely deserves half.
Buzz
Aldrin. Buzz Lightning. Buzz Aldrin was in space, landed on the moon, and a buzz cut is an excellent one, so he should get half a point. Okay. And Eclipse is really good for Half God, Half Biscuit, so welcome. I think relatively new to the stream as well, so don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. Well, not if you never want to watch us again, but every little bit helps. Well done, Stas. That's a point to you. So scores on the doors with one question left to go. Mrs. Wiggly, over to you.
Well, we have got Dr. Synth is in the lead with 2 points.
Woohoo! And...
Oh, sorry. Then we have Magic Box Studios, 1 point. Un point. Rabbit Bat, un point. Loullamae, un point.
What?
Will Joseph, un point. Half God, Half Beast,
I
un
got
point.
a point.
Loullamae got a
Yeah,
point.
she
For
did
the
the blinking competition.
Oh, yeah.
And Buzz, was his Buzz? What? Buzz who?
Buzz Lightyear. No, Homegrown.
Homegrown, half a point.
Fabulous. Incidentally,
Demi point.
as next week, the 60th birthday, with the whole full-on action. If you want to see what goes on, watch the 50th, because that was pretty outstanding. We will do a collection of all the drawings that Loullamae's done, get them all together, which I promised for this week, but we didn't get together, so we'll show them. Maybe you could do some live portrait painting as well as a 60th. You can do. Well, save it for next week if that's all right. Is that okay? We need Kent's. Well, he's going to be on next week. Are you? You're try that.
Hello.
Oh, that's better. Yeah, we still need Kent's, so he'll be on next week, so we can do that.
I'm a big fan of your artwork, Loullamae.
Would you like one as well?
I would love it. I would love it.
Let me zoom in on you and get a screenshot.
Hang on, let me take these off.
Smile. Okay, we're done and back. Right, we'll get that sorted.
Do you want to try and do it whilst we do the show? So you can keep it on the show?
Yeah, we can try it. We can try it. Let's do this and then I'll send it to you straight afterwards, yeah? Let me take... look at that, it worked! Wagyu donated 10 Swiss francs through Super Chat. Thank you, sir. Look at that, it popped up and everything. Wow. So what seems to happen is if I'm full on screen, it doesn't show. I must be on a kind of different layer or something. But there you go. Thank you, Wagyu. Next, all we need to do is have the main horn going off instead of the bicycle horn that I chose. Thank you. Thank you very, very much indeed. We have one question left.
And then quick fire and big
And then
questions.
a quick fire. Wagyu, it's so kind of you to donate as well when you haven't actually got a question. This may be the first time that you won't have got a question right for a long, long time. Which is, I feel quite sorry for Wagyu now. All right, here we go. Let's find that quiz thing. Here we go.
What colour are my toenails?
What colour are Loullamae's toenails?
Orange.
No.
No, have another go. You can do this.
Black.
No.
No.
Another one.
Brown.
No.
No.
Red.
Wagyu!
Yay! Beep.
Oh yes, he's done it.
Yeah.
That's the wrong side of your toes.
How am I going to twist it?
Oh, try it on my camera. Oh, you are. I'm not sure. How about?
Show my feet.
How about?
There.
Yeah, there. Just white.
Oh, yeah.
Just white. You can just see them. Thank goodness for that, Wagyu. My word, that was
You
getting
got a
really
point.
close.
I never lost faith in you, Wagyu. I knew you'd get a
You know.
little one.
I was feeling good about myself because Wagyu hadn't gotten any yet. Now,
He pulled it out. Pulled it out.
He's got it out of
Absolutely.
the bag.
Lady Aptitude says Wagyu just checked his toe cam. Somewhere underneath the desk here, I think. All right, are we ready for quick fire? Do you want to do the quick fire? All right, these are kind of like, red or green,
and then we
hot or
got
cold
logic as well.
type questions. So this is just between you two. There's no right answers really. There's nothing to be worried about at all. Are you ready, Loullamae? Let me clear this off. Let me see if I can do.
You need to clear.
Pardon?
It wasn't cleared, but now it is.
Yeah, okay, we've cleared that one. Let us see what else. Okay, this is going very slowly now, so this is not much use for me. Okay, are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I've got a new thing for it.
But potato or crisps?
It's echoing.
There you go, try again.
Potato or crisps?
potato.
Mustard or ketchup?
Mustard.
Right or left?
Right.
Day or night?
Night.
Tape or glue?
Glue.
Chicken or sausage?
I haven't eaten any of those in 50 years, so I won't
Good
say
work.
sausage because
Good work.
I do eat vegetarian sausage.
Tea or coffee?
I like them both, but I had coffee today.
Hot or cold?
I would rather be cold than hot. I like winter.
English or maths?
Maths. Although we only have one over here, we call it math.
Oh yeah, they do. That's true.
Trousers or pants?
Pants.
Oh, pants are trousers, though, aren't they? In the US, that's a confusing one.
Synthesizers or telling the time?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, Loullamae was very proud of that one.
Oh. Well, I'm going to say telling the time.
Oh! Controversial answer there.
Analog or digital?
Analog or digital?
Oh, well, that's even more controversial. Well, I'm talking to you through digital stuff now, so let's say digital.
Digital. Good. Well done, sir. Excellent.
Hooray!
Do you know if there's any bananas in the sky? Bananas in the sky. That's an excuse. Bananas in the sky, there's a sun and a moon and a great big apple pie. No, bananas in the sky. Lovely. This we know now.
I think I recognize the voice in that song, don't I?
Oh yes, it's all my own work. as is the like and subscribe. Oh, I am available. Look at that. It pops Mrs. Wiggly on, even though we don't want her to come on. Maybe if I turn that down, maybe that'll work. Yeah, I'm available for parties, weddings, bar mitzvahs, you know. What's next?
Big question.
Loullamae's big question. You ready for this?
What's the best smell in America?
Magnolia blossoms.
Oh, that's a nice answer. Very, very good. Is that what you expected? I said barbecue, actually, didn't I? I said, I bet.
I said, not
What
in
did you
the
say,
USA.
Loullamae?
Maybe in Australia.
What did you say, Mrs.
I
Wiggly?
said pancakes.
Pancakes. That's a nice smell.
Yeah.
Who's in the... Oh, God.
Logic.
I can't get the chat up anymore. This is...
The chat's there.
Look, if I click it, nothing happens.
Click it.
I did. Maybe if I refresh. Maybe we'll lose the whole broadcast if I refresh. I've done it now.
Okay.
Show me on screen. Show them on screen. Show Chris on screen.
What about me?
Oh, I'd literally reset everyone. Okay, so the next thing
You
to remember...
forgot about me.
I can never forget about you. The next thing to remember is never refresh everyone when they're...
The next thing to remember is don't forget about me.
How could I possibly forget about you? You're the
You
most
just did.
important thing about the whole stream.
There.
There you are.
You're saving the best for last.
Now I've swapped everyone round again. Why did we do that?
Why does it need to be like that?
I don't know. Should be that way.
I
What's best? Whoops.
like being this side.
That side. So you're okay now.
No, that side. Then no. That.
This is like that game you get. Like,
No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Where you just,
You got to get a row.
yeah.
Lily, which square would you like? This one, this one, this one, or this
The
one?
one I'm in.
This. You happy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey. Now you just need to have the camera pointed at you.
Hi.
Hi, Loullamae. Looking at the smells in the... That sounds terrible. Look at the smells in the chat. Cheeseburgers, pine trees. I get pine trees, bacon. New synth smell from Azio Head. On topic as well. Well done, sir. Gardenias, cut grass. The 1980s Yamaha factory smelled amazing from Wagyu. Can confirm Australia likes barbecue. You in Australia? Thank you very much for getting up this early.
Oh.
Or is it?
In North and South Carolina is barbecue country, too. There's a lot of barbecue around here.
Oh, wow, of course. So, Orcs, Oars, very, very welcome. Thank you very much for joining the stream. Oh, sorry, we're missing out on Loullamae's big question.
No, I've already done my big question. Mrs. Wiggly's big question.
Oh, Mrs. Wiggly, do you have a big question, my darling?
I think there's one for me.
Is there?
Yes.
I don't remember that one. Okay, well, stand by
Let me
for
see.
Mrs. Wiggly's
Let me
big...
see what my question is.
Let's have a quick look at Mrs. Wiggly's big... Sorry.
I really wonder who this question is directed at. What is the best present to buy a musician?
This is a good one. This is a great one. Who thought of that?
Great question.
Good question, Mrs. Wiggly.
Am I supposed to be taking notes?
Well, maybe. I don't know who thought of that question, but it's a
Switch.
useful insight, though, isn't it?
Switch.
A gift certificate.
Okay.
Oh.
Because some would say maybe a Moog 1 would be a Moog 1, right? Gifts. Any suggestions in the chat for gifts for?
A gift for a musician.
Rob, you're so right. Daddy Wiggly's a bit overworked. He really is. Still, first time with a new system is always bad. A sympathy card.
Yes.
That's pretty good, actually.
I think I still have one of those skinny keyboard ties.
Oh, yeah, I used to have one of those in the 80s.
Back in the day.
A shrimp on the Barbie. I think that was from a previous question.
No earplugs.
Kalimba. I like that one.
Kalimbas are good. Yeah, absolutely.
I've got one right here, actually.
Earplugs. Oh, really? Oh, fab.
Yeah.
Oh, they're so cool. So cool. Bit of delay and reverb on that. They just sound wonderful.
Oh, it is.
Soundproofing. Oxoz is actually a good one as well. Good one. Are there any more questions, Loullamae?
Yeah, that's my logic.
Loullamae's logic. I can't remember what your logic is, but it's definitely worth hearing. And then maybe we'll talk a little bit more about proper music and stuff for a little bit. Let's see Loullamae's logic.
To make your fan cooler, just put a bowl of ice cubes in front of it.
Brilliant. Can't argue with that.
No.
Definitely can't argue with that.
I bet you folks over there in the land of no air conditioning do that quite a bit.
You were going to do it up here, and I thought, actually, not all over the studio kit.
We've been crunching ice a lot. Well, Hazel has, anyway, the dog.
Yeah. Actually, I got a little demonstration. There you go. Is that what you intended? The picture I got says salted ice. I don't know why that would be. Why would you, does
it melts slower. Like when I remember this from a kid. We had a hand cranked ice cream maker.
Right.
And you would salt the ice that you put in there because it made it melt slower.
Oh, genius.
Or no, it actually made it cold. I think I'm wrong. It's not that it's colder.
They put salt on the ice to make it melt quicker.
Yeah,
that's true. Do you think it's to make it melt quicker?
It does, but it's something about it changes the
changes the melting point, I think, doesn't it?
Melting point, yeah, that's what it is.
So it would raise the melting point so it gets out quicker. I suppose if you're desperate to get cool.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Easily done. What else have we got going on? No Mr. Wiggly Horn, so rest in peace to Mr. Wiggly Horn. I've got a couple of pictures here. This is our Facebook for sale group, No Sugar Coke Can, possibly once held by Post Malone for $300. If anyone's interested in that, I can point you in the right direction. I love the fact that it's possibly owned. Oh, and the other picture I found recently was this is the top of the Nelson's Column, which is in the middle of London. It's not that high in the grand scheme of things. It's 52 metres tall, I think, which, by tall buildings and stuff. But that's a picture in the 80s. Obviously, there's no ropes holding them on. There's no, no safety stuff. And he's just sunbathing on the top. They have to go up and clean all the pigeon poo off every now and then. I just stuck in my head that, that's...
Is that an 80s job?
Yeah, that was in the early 80s. It looks a bit like it. It said, instead early 80s, like 81. They were still doing that, and there don't seem to be any. I mean, they've tied the ladder on, which is obviously important, but not the people. There you go. I don't know really what that has to do with anything, but I just thought it'd be worth sharing. Is that all the questions? We've done quick fire. We've done Mrs. Wiggly's big question. We've done Ice Cube fans. I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow! Thank you so much. Can we get some love in the chat? For the Wigglies, thank you very much. Or the other Wigglies, that would be absolutely brilliant. So I think they're going to head off.
Lovely. Well, enjoy your music chat.
You seem to have gone very quiet. Hold on. You still there? Is Wiggly?
I'm here.
Yeah, you're here. Okay, cool.
All right, okay. Have a good evening, guys. Enjoy the
You
music
too.
chat.
Too.
And we shall see you next week.
Yeah, for the 60th.
Yes.
You're being very self-contained, Loullamae, over there. No leaping on mummy or anything.
No. Why did you have to go and say that? Right, come on, Papa.
Okay, good night, girls. Thank you so much for all your help. Bye.
Let's go.
Perfect. Now, I'm going to put on a jam, a very mellow jam from Chris Stack, which has a lovely load of synths in the picture. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye. Whilst we kind of regroup and we can work out what's happening. So let me just put this on here and I'll see if I can get it going. Let's see. So share the screen. Okie doke, and we'll be back in a couple of minutes. What is that? Amazing stuff. Really, 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 really good. So what's being used there, Chris?
The Hydrosynth is actually controlling Arturia's pigments, and the little chord controller on the bottom left is also controlling another instance of pigments.
Wow, it's great. Pigments is really good, actually.
Oh, it is. And the Hydrosynth is nice to control it too, because it can handle the poly aftertouch.
The low end on the kind of toms or whatever they were in the background sounds really good. Fab. I posted the link in the chat, so please pop over there, subscribe to that channel. There's more subscribers on that channel than mine, so yeah, absolutely, it doesn't need too much help there. It's fantastic. Mind you, you've been doing this for quite a while, I think, in terms of the channel that you put together.
Yeah.
There's a lot of content going on there, right?
Yeah, I mean, when I was at Moog from May 2007 to January 2011, and so I set up all Moog's initial social media stuff, the Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and that. And so when I left it, I almost immediately started my own channel.
You just sold a copy of Pigments. Brilliant. Rotten Circuits. He's going to pull the trigger on Pigments.
My friend Brian Borchard over at Arturia will be happy to hear that.
Yeah, totally, totally. So, you mentioned Moog. So let's have a little chat about that. What was that like? I mean, you have to give us a little bit of background as to how you came in and got involved. But you became marketing manager at Moog. Yeah, which is a heavy weight on your shoulders, I would say. I mean, a fun job, but
it was, particularly since the world economy crashed right after I got the job. So
not related, I hope, but
well, no. I don't think Moog has that much. Or Moog has that much.
No.
So you got me saying Moog now.
Oh, sorry. Do you know what? I've said Moog for so long, and I've been practicing Moog, and it just comes out without me thinking about it. Moog and Boog and Moog and whatever.
There is a video with Bob saying that the original Dutch family name was pronounced either way.
Oh, cool. That's not it. Thank you for saying that, but it really I should be able to say this correctly because the rest of the world does.
He said Moog. So.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. So how did that come about?
Well, let's go back a little further with me doing circuit board design for Bob, because that was kind of, I don't want to say it's the first step, because actually the two things were in a way kind of unrelated. But back in, it was probably, I remember the date now on some of the letters, early 90s, like 90, 91. Mm-hmm. I saw an article in our local paper in Spartanburg, South Carolina, that Bob was giving a lecture in Asheville at UNCA where he was a professor, which I had no idea. I mean, Asheville was about an hour north of where I lived in South Carolina at the time. Had no idea Bob was not even part of the Moog company anymore. Had no idea he'd moved south, before the internet news didn't travel fast or at all about, niche stuff like that. So I was like, oh my God, I got to go see this. So I drive up to Asheville, go to the lecture. It was great. Bob was talking about a wide variety of stuff. He had been living here for years, but very quietly. So I didn't know about it. But he was talking about a lot of analog, a lot of digital stuff. He was playing around with a number of things. But after the lecture was over, I went up to him and introduced myself and gave him a card and said, if you ever need a printed circuit designer, give me a call. So next morning at work, the phone rings, and this is like the days before cell phones. So I pick up the phone and says, hi, Chris, this is Bob Moog. And I'm like, Wow. Yeah. And he had a project he needed, help on right away. And it was that multi-touch keyboard.
Wow, fantastic. That's so cool, though. I mean, and it does, things like that do still happen, just right place, right time, bit of a contact. And you just, he obviously knew that he needed someone. Oh, I remember I bumped into that bloke last night.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and there weren't a lot of us circuit board designers in the area at that time. I got pretty lucky when my second pass at school after 5 years in the zinc die casting factory. Wow. I thought, okay, I gotta go back to learn something better. And I was into a bunch of synthesizers at that time, so I was like, electronics, I'm gonna take that.
But PCB design back then is it kind of sticky Letraset style stuff onto tracing paper? Or?
I never had to do any from scratch like that. I had to modify one or two of them.
Right.
My first boards, it was an actual PCB design workstation. It was a DEC PDP-11 computer that was built around. Had two monitors. One was, I would call it RGB, but it wasn't even that. It was red, green, and blue. That's all. There was no in-between colors. Yeah. And then there was a black and white monitor with a light pen. So I would draw, and but did a lot of stuff. Wow. One of the boards I did then went up on a space shuttle.
Wow, seriously? My gosh.
Yeah. The company I worked for was doing some pretty intense industrial computers.
Wow.
Somebody bought a few of them to go up, and they were controlling experiments, measuring microgravity. I think they were looking at growing crystals in space. They thought they might grow pure, have better yields in low gravity, and then the other part was playing around with helium at its triple point and measuring that.
Was there anything special about the design of those to withstand being up in space, or?
Well, I didn't initially design. It wasn't designed for that purpose. It was a general purpose controller. So this company bought it. I think when we manufactured them, they put a little extra TLC on them. But,
yeah.
But the funny thing is, salespeople. Then the sales guy came to tell me that it had happened the other day. Bought some and it was going up on the space shuttle. I was like jumping up and down, and he was just. And I looked at him like, why aren't you excited? He's like, well. They only bought 4 of them.
yeah, because it's 400. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's had my initials embedded in the circuitry, so my initials have been in outer space.
Man, that's amazing. Because I've seen some people working on satellites, some of the mini CubeSats that get launched.
Oh yeah.
And they're kind of put together in completely sterile conditions and stuff. It's just an incredible amount of attention to detail, so you can't touch them, and there's no dust and contamination.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
all those clean room things.
Wow,
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you then progressed fairly rapidly through the ranks, did you, from designing things into full-time employment there?
Well, this was a company that did. If you're still talking about Moog, it would actually. I was just doing that as a side project for Bob.
Right.
I was working at the computer design company then, and I did I think it was 3 different boards for that multi-touch keyboard, and then that was it for a while. He was putting it together and dealing with other things. It was a little while later, the next project came along, which was one of the theremin that first theremin he did with MIDI in it. And it was right as I was changing jobs. One of my friends from school, he was actually my lab partner in school. When we got out, he started a company fixing cable television converter boxes. And in the intervening 10 years, had grown that company. He had about 30 or 40 people and was wanting to get into manufacturing some parts for cable TV. So I left Computer Dynamics and went to DB-Tronics. And kind of got their manufacturing department going. And I was really busy doing that. And then Bob, had this other project. I just didn't have time to do it. So there was another guy from Computer Dynamics who I taught how to do circuit board design. And I passed the Bob stuff on to him, and he wound up doing a bunch of later projects for Bob. I suspect probably some of the Moog or Fogers, and I'm not sure if he did anything on the Voyager or anything. But particularly back in the Big Briar days before, he got the name back. He put out a few Moog Fogers. I think the CP251 and some other things.
Wow.
But yeah, so I stayed at DB-Tronics for about 10 years and was kind of manufacturing manager for a while. I had one boss there that called me his utility infielder, which is a baseball term.
Right.
But, so I was, most of the time I was there, I was marketing manager, but for probably about the first 2 years, I was manufacturing manager. In the last 2 years, I was engineering manager.
Oh, great. So you saw it right the way across. I mean, from a marketing point of view, that's useful as well, because you can actually, there's usually a constant battle between the marketing side and the manufacturing and design side, because you sell the Moog on the stick and then everyone else has to run around and build it. So having seen both sides, I just think that's a breath of fresh air for everyone within the company.
Yeah, well, I know what the deliverables look like coming from both directions. So,
yeah, completely. I mean, what's it like marketing for Moog at that stage in their career? I mean, for some reason, it feels like they sell themselves, but that's probably completely understating the challenges and stuff that they were going through.
Well, yeah, back then, I mean, I remember it was kind of funny being there because, by that time I was, making decent money, so I was buying all the synthesizers I could afford. I mean, literally, I had a ton of them. Bunch, some Kurzweils, some and Sonic ESQ1 and Mirage, almost every 4-operator synth Yamaha made. I even had the CX5M.
Wow.
So I had a ton of stuff like that. But I'm this guy, nobody knew, living in South Carolina. Well, how I kind of got the connection to Moog. Bob, in the meantime, Bob had died, and we'll double back and let me tell you a story about that later. But and a components rep that I dealt with also sold chips and capacitors to Moog and stuff, and he heard they had an opening for a marketing person, and he knew I was into synthesizers, so he put the word in for me. So Bob's dead at that point. Nobody else in the company really knew me, and I just got the job by the skin of my teeth. I had gone up and interviewed and everything. I thought things were going really well. And then at the last minute, I didn't get hired.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I'm dejected, but, life goes on. So about a week later, I'm out riding my bicycle. And by then we had cell phones. Cell phone rings. And it's like, hey, Chris, you still interested in coming to work for Moog? Yeah, they'd hired another guy and fired him within like the first week.
Oh my word!
For whatever reason, I'm not really sure, but so I got the job then.
Jump back in again. Wow.
Yeah.
What was the culture like in terms of like kind of workforce? Because you had different stories about, I don't want to dig into that side of things too much because obviously it's over a very wide period of time. But was it all everyone together, or was it kind of politics within the company? And I'm asking because I guess with Bob Moog passing away, Bob Moog. I'll stick with Moog. Bob Moog passing, it must create a massive vacuum, and people either jump in or jump out. I can't imagine what that must have been like, to be honest. It
was odd and a little maybe frustrating for me in some ways, because even though I was just nobody that from South Carolina that nobody really knew, I had more synthesizers than everybody else in the company put together.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and nobody would. I didn't feel my opinions carried as much weight as they should.
Gosh,
so
that is interesting.
Little rough for me, I think. But,
yes.
I may have just been wrong about things too. I don't know.
Well, marketing. You can't run a controlled experiment with marketing, and it doesn't seem to have done that badly, to be honest. So it is interesting. I mean, I'm glad that they've made it through those times. Obviously, there's some challenges going on again all throughout the industry at the moment. I'm not sure I'd want to be marketing manager for them now, but yes. Did it end well? Were you happy looking back on your period of time there? And
that was a dream job, and you don't leave dream jobs because,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Wrong question.
But,
but looking back on it, you must have learned a hell of a lot of just that insight into that whole thing. Must have been amazing.
Oh, it was odd too. It was I don't know if any of you visited Asheville.
No, I'd love to.
It's a great town. I love it there. I was. It was very different than life in South Carolina. A lot of people say Asheville was like a West Coast town. It was like a little San Francisco or Denver, but it's way up in the mountains. It's really gorgeous there, and a very unique history. Bela Bartok used to live about a mile from my apartment when I was there.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he had moved there right around the end of his life for the air. They thought he had tuberculosis, but it turned out he had leukemia, I think. But he lived. Wow. But it was kind of a like roaring 20s playground of the rich. Like Zelda Fitzgerald from F. Scott Fitzgerald's wife died in a fire about half a mile from where my apartment was. Wow. Yeah, it was kind of an odd history. There's a very posh hotel there called the Grove Park Inn, where Edison and Goodrich and like the titans of the 20th century kind of would meet to plan out what the 20th century was going to be like.
Wow. Goodness me, that's incredible.
Yeah, the Biltmore House there is the largest private residence in the United States. I
didn't know it was so kind of well-to-do, if you like. Kind of wow.
Well, it's interesting, and that kind of gets back to some of your questions about culture. Even back then, and probably even more so now, there was a great income gap in Asheville.
Right.
You either had a lot of money or you were borderline homeless.
Yes, I can see that. That causing quite a few problems.
I mean, it is Appalachia. It's like Western North Carolina.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And in the manufacturing industry, which is fundamentally, I guess, what they're doing there, or they were doing there at the time. That's absolutely. Wow, that's astonishing. I mean, I'd love to go over there and see it, and I know quite a few people in the chat have been over there, but wow. Yeah. There's a question from Rotten Circuits saying. Oberheim designed a few Eurorack modules. Did you get a chance to try them?
Tom showed them to me at NAMM one year, but he just kind of had them out on display. They weren't playable. I did get to play around with one of the recent SEM modules though, and had some fun with that.
Oh, nice. Thank you, Rotten Circuits. Any questions in the chat? Gratefully received. If you've got anything that you want to ask about Moog, or I got it right, Moog Rogue. You see, Synth Addict very kindly gave me a very easy way to remember this. The Moog
Rogue. Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Bingo. So what happened afterwards then? So you moved out of Moog and
I started my channel just because I had taught myself videography by then. Went to work, stayed in Asheville, went to work for a kind of a very high-end, semi-famous abstract expressionist artist.
Oh, wow.
I was working in an art gallery for a number of years. I did like multimedia stuff for him. That was a very strange experience. He was a character and a bit of a controversial figure around town.
Right.
So that was almost as strange as my time at Moog, actually. I mean, at Moog it would be weird things like I'd be up till midnight working on a press release, and the next day Lou Reed is in my office.
Oh wow, how fantastic!
Yeah, it was funny. This was before they were in the current building they're in now. They were in it was an old cotton mill or something that had been subdivided into a little industrial park. So it's like north of town by the river and almost in the woods. And the people that would come through there was just amazing. Who's that? Oh, Parliament Funkadelics in the lobby. Okay.
Fantastic.
There's a club in Asheville called the Orange Peel that Rolling Stone magazine named as one of the top 5 music venues in the country one year. So they get some big names come through. I remember when the Smashing Pumpkins got back together, Billy Corgan brought the band to Asheville, and they did like a residency just to kind of get the bugs out of their show. So they did like 9 shows in a row at the Orange Peel. And at one point during the week, he and his band come to the factory. Like if any big band would play the factory, they would come the next day for a tour. So Billy comes and he's got his entourage with him, and had his own videographer and everything, and got to talk to him. And I had a great time hanging out with him. He was pretty knowledgeable about synthesizers. You may have seen some of his modular performances.
Yeah.
But later on that week, it was Friday, and I got off work, and I walked around downtown. And during the warm months, there's a big drum circle they have in the center of town. And I see Billy's videographer there, and I go over, start talking to her, and she says, "Hey, do you know any of these people in this drum circle?" I said, "Yeah, I know a bunch of them." She said, "Well, Billy just fired his opening act. He said go down to the drum circle, get some people to open for him." So I see my friend CJ. I said, "CJ, come here." He's, "I'm busy." I said, "No, you're not too busy for this."
I'm not busy.
So basically, I got some of my friends a gig opening for the Smashing Pumpkins.
Another right place, right? I think I'll just follow you around if I ever go to America. I'll just just pick up the kind of the pieces.
It's just I tell people just keep your mouth shut and your ears open.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to wonder how many kind of sliding doors moments people miss, like myself or whatever. You just should have not ignored that person, or done that thing. Wow.
Yeah, but
sorry, carry on.
Oh, I would say Lou Reed did a show there, and it was right before we were introducing the Moog guitar. I mean, we're just like 2 weeks from announcing it, and it was like top secret. But they said, "Okay, we can show Lou." And he was kind of he wasn't really into the synths and stuff. He kind of like came because his band wanted to see it, so he was just kind of dead him and stuff. But we said, "Okay, Lou, we got something to show you." Show the guitar. He lit up like a Christmas tree.
Oh wow!
Oh my God, he loved it.
I wouldn't have expected that for some reason. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So our music room then was about a 12 by 12 tiny little room, and there's like 15 people in there, watching Lou play the guitar. So I run and get my camcorder, and elbow my way back in. I get some video of him just gushing that he loved it so much, and that became part of the Moog guitar launch video.
Wow!
But later, he's walking around, or actually it was before. I was in my office, and he comes walking into my office, and he's now to have this Laurie Anderson tour poster up on my wall, and he gives me this look like, "You've got a picture of my wife hanging in your office."
I forgot that.
Then he's just kind of, I guess that's okay. But I'm a huge Laurie Anderson fan.
Yeah.
One of my favorite artists.
Yeah. I wish I knew more tunes, actually. I mean, the Superman as a kid was just obviously like incredible.
The later Amazing. Stuff is really great. Yeah.
I must write. I'm going to check her out actually, because it's been so long since I listened to that tune, and I know she's done so much work, so many. Much back catalogue.
Yeah, I would say actually.
Any recommendations?
Superman is probably one of my less favorite of her.
What should I listen to
the album after it is probably my favorite, called Mr. Heartbreak.
Oh, okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Anything after that, pretty much. The one after that was Home of the Brave. Nile Rodgers produced it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we have some connection there with the.
That's interesting. Richard Hilton probably played on it. I mean, you never know.
Could be. I know Dahlett,
I'm not sure if Richard's still in the chat. That should be interesting. But if you are in the chat, Richard, let us know. That's that would be amazing.
Yeah, my Facebook friend Dahlett McDonald was one of the background vocalists on
fantastic.
But after that, everything after that too is great. She's done some stuff, some of her recent stuff that had like Tuvan throat singers and the Mongolian bowed fiddles and stuff in it. And I'll send you some stuff later.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah, your links would be great. Synthetics saying Laurie Anderson did a concert for dogs with high frequencies.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one.
Okay. Yeah. As a new dog owner, that could be quite interesting. But wow.
Yeah. She had her album that Brian Eno produced too. Bright Red is very good.
Oh, okay, lovely. I'm honestly, I need educating.
I've probably seen her live more than any other artist, any other major artist too.
Wow. No, there's just so much stuff that I haven't listened to. I had a very kind of popular music upbringing, which is great, and I love pop and everything. But some of the older school stuff, as I've rediscovered as I've grown up, and there's so much of it. It's absolutely brilliant.
That was kind of my post-prog period. I was a massive Yes fan for years.
Right.
Till Oh, actually, I was not an owner of a Lonely Heart fan. That kind of drove me away a little bit. I really got into Joni Mitchell for a while. So I was playing a lot of guitar and piano, and she was actually a big influence on my piano playing. But after that,
cool.
It was probably in the 90s, I was heavy into Kate Bush, Peter Gabriel, and Laurie Anderson.
Yeah. Well, Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel over here, but then Laurie Anderson wasn't so mainstream enough to kind of be on my radar, I guess.
Yeah, she did some work with Peter Gabriel. Actually, that Mr. Heartbreak album, Peter Gabriel is on it, and she's on. They did a song "Excellent Birds" that's on. I forget which album of his, but they're both on the song, and they both did different versions that are on each album.
Oh, okay. Oh, that sounds brilliant. That's my night listening sorted. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, kit-wise, because we're rapidly shooting through this, actually, there's so much to talk about. Again, any questions in the chat, please do fire away. But what are your kind of synths of choice at the moment? I see a bunch of kit behind you.
Oh,
and
yeah.
obviously, people have a huge fascination of that kind of stuff, and myself included.
Let's see what we can see here. I'll give you the tour. You can't really see
please do.
much
It looks
here.
like a great setup.
Yeah, this is a Yamaha MO8 that I'm using kind of right as a controller now, kind of straight into my bigger computer for a 88 keys weighted action. It's got a decent synth in it too, which I've loved for years, but now it's a little been bypassed by some of the other stuff.
Right.
Over here. One of my favorite things is a thing in the bottom of the rack. It's a TC Helicon VoiceWorks.
Oh, I've heard about those things.
Yeah, I do some vocals. I can't sing "Mary Had a Little Lamb" recognizably, but it's got this great setting in there where you can plug a MIDI keyboard into it and you can talk into it and play a melody and you come out singing it. It's like you're playing the auto tune.
Absolutely.
Yeah, what I do then is I'll take that and then run that into an Eventide H9 using one of their intelligent harmony settings. And yeah, I've got some videos where I'm doing that, and oh my god, it is so fun. It's like I feel like one of these people who are colorblind and put on those special sunglasses, all of a sudden they can see. You know?
So does the H9, when it says intelligent, are you actually playing chords into the H9, or is it just kind of what do you feed into it for it to become intelligent?
Well, you tell it what key you're playing in, and it'll create harmonies that stay in that key. So I tell it I'm in C minor, and I'm using the Helicon to keep me in C minor as I'm playing.
Yeah.
And you say, okay, I want a third higher and a fourth below, and it changes the intervals to stay in that key.
Wow.
I'll send you a video after we get off.
Yeah, please do. I'll link
stuff.
it. If it's public, I'll link it underneath. So come back and check that. That'd be amazing. Do you know what? I was going to say someone famous uses that TC Helicon. And yes, indeed, synth editing, that's how Imogen Heap made Hide and Seek, but with the Digitech one. I've got a Digitech here, but the Helicon, okay.
Yeah, and then the Helicon will do that too. It's got a polyphonic mode where you can play a chord and it comes out. I've got one video where King Britt, who was used to be the DJ for Diggable Planets, came to my studio with a vocalist he was working with who was a trained opera singer, and I was letting her play around with it, and she's like singing Ave Maria and intelligent harmonies. I think she maybe did a little bit of hide and seek too while she was there.
Oh, fantastic. Wow, I love that. So that's brilliant. I mean, because we're getting quite close to kind of artificial intelligence singers and stuff, but you can always kind of tell what's going on. But if you're effectively talking into something to get the tune out from the keyboard that then goes through the harmonizer, perfect. Absolutely.
Yeah, and the Helicon, I had that before I went to work at Moog. I bought it actually because I'm a huge John Hassel fan. I don't know if you're familiar with him, the trumpeter. Okay, I know who you mean. Yeah. He did a lot of stuff with Eno and stuff. And when you listen to some of his albums, it's like, where's the trumpet? But he a lot of times he has this breathy embouchure and he's running it through harmonizers and stuff. And I don't play the trumpet, but I play a lot of these, big bamboo flutes.
Oh, nice.
So I'll run that through intelligent harmony, and all of a sudden you get this huge, shakuhachi chord coming out at you.
Wow.
If any of you get a chance to check out my stuff on Bandcamp, my latest album, Modoru, I've got a lot of shakuhachi through Eventide on there.
Is that Bandcamp? I didn't get the link. /Chris Stack.
chrisstack.bandcamp.com.
Perfect. I'll put a link up underneath, and yeah, absolutely. We can get that underneath it after the video's finished. If I can put one up before it ends, I will do too. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. BG Ollie was with his sort of slightly a lot of Irish instruments going on that we've had on before was a bit similar to that as well, kind of recreating these incredible sounds with wind instruments and odd stuff that you've never seen before, but it's just so organic sounding. The whole thing is really rich. Do you know what I mean? It's fabulous.
Yeah, so whenever you hear my stuff, if you hear a shakuhachi in there, it is not some shakuhachi sample.
It's your big flute. Wow. Wagu's saying he's got the TC Voice Prism Plus rack, which sounds like an amazing thing. I don't know what the TC Voice Prism Plus does, but it sounds like top of the top. And there's a floor pedal Helicon in use on the current tour with Grace. Well, Grace was out with I forget what they're called now. I'm sure she'll tell us. But they're very much still around. Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah. So other than that, I've got the Minilog XD, which is a great little thing. It's actually nice to have it up next to the Pro 3 like that, because it's really nice for reaching up and doing chords while I'm soloing on the Pro 3. Oh,
nice.
Yeah,
it's a great setup you've got. Very kind of everything in its right place as a working environment.
Well, I rearrange it every couple of weeks. I just recently got to borrow this Prophet X, so everything had to move down.
Fair enough. Fair. How are you finding that?
I like it. It's a lot of fun. I'm still wrapping my head around the sample management and stuff in it. It's taking me a while, but I do enjoy it. I like digital stuff too. I'm not a analog purist or a digital.
No, totally.
I'll play anything anybody throws my way.
Right.
Pretty much.
What's around the corner just behind you there as well?
There's a Voyager back there.
Oh, very nice, of course.
And then below it, it's kind of hard to see, is a Hydrosynth.
Cool.
And
there's one of those.
And off camera you won't be able to see. I've got a Matrix Brute and a Pro 2.
You did some sound for the Matrix Brute, some sound design, didn't you? I think.
Yeah. Just a little small bag. Yeah.
I'll stick that video underneath as well, because that was quite interesting. The way that you were getting some of those sounds to come through, quite percussive stuff going on, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And so does that all go into a DAW at the end of the day? Does it all come out live?
Does.
Two tracks or?
Yeah. I recently, about last year, got this PreSonus mixer that is USB-C into my new Mac Mini, so I've got it going into Logic or Ableton.
Any particular flavor? I mean, do you prefer Logic or Ableton? Which of the?
I do my final composition in Logic. I mostly use Ableton for live performance or to make stems. I do a lot of making stems in it. If you go back and listen to my first album, Xenography, the title track, which when you listen to it, you'll tell it's very much influenced by Peter Gabriel's Rhythm of the Heat and Burning Eno's My Life in the Bush of Ghosts.
I love that album.
There's a huge rhythm track in it, but I made that all out of Ableton stems. It was just a little FM synth, little sequence of things, and made it sound percussive, and it just kept throwing different effects racks on it, different things, and export, and then brought that all into Logic, put it all together. So it kind of starts slow and then builds to this crescendo.
Nice. Yeah, I'm the same actually with Logic. I still think in Logic in terms of making a track, sort of left to right, the whole arrangement. But Ableton's great for putting stuff together and grabbing stuff out of it. Absolutely, I can't do that arranged mode yet.
I am totally lost in Ableton's arrangement view. I've never used it at all.
It's very much, I still think in terms of tape, really. So as long as it goes left to right or around. Really good question from Wagu. Thank you, sir. What synths or other gear are on your wish list lately?
I haven't played one, but from just what I've seen, I would really like to at least check out the Novation Summit.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's an interesting choice. That's supposed not tried one either.
Yeah.
That is interesting. And from the Moog stable, is there anything that's floating your boat that they've released?
The Matriarch actually seems kind of interesting to me. If I can get one of the black ones, first color scheme.
They sound better, do they?
I think they probably do.
Grace has got a question as well to that. If Moog could make your dream product, what would it be? Moog, rather. If indeed it was Moog that were to make it, of course.
Kind of scale back the Moog 1 to make it, manageable and make that work. I mean, the thing I should probably wax more eloquently about the Pro 2 and Pro 3 is because they're really kind of the heart of my synth setup, and it's because they do CV so well.
Oh, okay.
And so just so amazing. They're so amazingly functional. You can just do crazy stuff with them. And the Hydrasynth, too. To me, the Hydrasynth has what should be the minimal CV implementation on any synthesizer. If you synth and do at least what the Hydrasynth does CV wise, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, that's fair enough. It's a real. It looks like a real bonus, and actually, it's just as a controller keyboard, like you're saying, it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, but the Moog 1 sounds great. I understand they've got some of the tuning issues straightened out, and I've heard that they've got some of the CV stuff working, although I haven't seen any demos of it yet.
I hear the same. I think it's not quite there yet, but will be, which is a shame for a synth that's been out for so long. But I do think it's coming together. I think it will turn into an outrageously brilliant synth in the end. It's just obviously you can't keep on going for it.
I mean, if you've seen a lot of my videos, you can tell a lot of what I really do is really exploit the semi-modular nature of the semi-modular synths. I mean, when I'm playing, I've got a MIDI layer talking to things. I usually use MIDI for notes, and I'll use CV for everything else.
Nice.
And
did you get much involved in the DFAM and the Mother 32?
No, I was long gone by then.
In terms of wanting one, is that kind of on your list at all?
I've got a Mother 32. The DFAM I think would be cool. I wish they had bigger knobs on it.
I was so not into the DFAM that it's to be ridiculous. I was so against for some reason because it just went. And then the more I hear people use it these days, I'm like, actually, do you know what? That's like a really fun little thing to have.
Yeah, I would love to play around with one because that's kind of the drum stuff I like. I mean, my music taste in general, I'm not a big fan of the standard drum kit at all. I mean, I love percussion. Give me, a drum circle as a rhythm, section, I'm fine, or a drum machine and bongos. That's fine too. The standard drum kit, I think it's just that growing up, every song had that same rhythm section, and I just
fair enough.
Even the ones that do, but there are songs that I hear that I like it.
I mean, it evolved that way for a reason, definitely. But yes, there are some incredible stuff that you can do. A great drummer though. There's something with a real natural feel for the whole thing. It just brings anything to life. Could be pots and pans, could be drums, could be a drum machine. But that inherent. It's just something really inherent if you're a great drummer and a great bass player as well. Combine a great drummer and a great bass player and just watch them telepathically kind of work off each other.
Well, I'm in kind of strong agreement, I think, with Robert Fripp and Peter Gabriel that leave the cymbals at home.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, that's why really if just a hi-hat close.
Yeah, there is that.
I mean, to me, cymbals
just
take
don't do that. Don't do that.
They just take up way too much bandwidth for what they apply. Then, again, that is just my opinion. I am not.
No, that's fair enough. Fair enough. We have another question. It's from the Synth Addict, equally searching. What are your best and worst synths ever, owned or not? I guess owned is a fairer judgment on best and worst.
Let me think. The worst piece of gear I ever had was an Alesis mixer I bought once. And when I first got into making mixers, they tried to do one where they actually embedded the resistors as part of the PCB design process.
Oh, wow.
And it was
sort
the
of
noisiest.
Surface mount before surface mount.
Yeah. It's like they put them up down and then put the solder mask over it or something.
Wow.
That was the worst piece of gear I ever had. But as far as synths, I kind of liked them all.
It is hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't tend to buy anything that's terrible. You do the research, you know. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Pulsar
yeah.
23 back there is going to make it look. Oh, strange. I think he's talking about mine. The Pulsar 23 behind me. It's hard. I'm just trying to think if that question went to me. I don't think I've ever bought anything tragic that I just thought this is absolutely
the Yamaha
awful.
CP30 electric piano I bought was maybe the worst keyboard I ever spent a lot of money on. It just did not do a good electric piano sound. I mean,
if it's bought to be an electric piano, then yeah, clearly it's not.
Yeah, it had this really nice flat top that was great for putting my Prumar Performer on.
So does the Hydra Synth Deluxe, doesn't it? It's got that nice laptop bit that you can put up the up one end.
Yeah.
Oh, the Chris could get a Timberwolf is the best ever. Yeah. That would be kind of cool. And SH201.
But I saw somebody commenting about the Pro 2 and 3. The thing I loved when I got the Pro 2 is it made all my other synths so much more fun to work with and play. It made them all better. It's like
that's interesting.
Like a Voyager sounds great. There is, for all practical purposes, nothing on it that you can sync to a drum track.
Right.
But if you're sending clock synced CV step sequences from the Pro 2 and modulating the filter, oh my God, that's just a whole new level of synth there.
Yeah. That's really interesting, actually, where you can bring something really to life.
Yeah, for a while there, my Dallas setup was I would take the Pro 2, an Eventide H9, and some other like analog mono synth, something that had CV in. Sometimes it was just a little micro brute. Sometimes it was a Voyager or the Moog Little Fatty or something. And I would run that second synth into the into the H9 and have the Pro 2 being the main clock, also clocking the H9. So the Pro 2 is sending like clock step sequences to the Voyager. The Voyager is going through the H9 that is doing echoes at the same tempo.
Yes.
And that for a little 3-piece dollar setup, you could do a lot of stuff with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we were talking about the SH101s and the JX3Ps and stuff, I mean, with the 101, the MIDI retrofit on that allowed you to have velocity sensitive and key the filter off the velocity or off of a control. Suddenly you just turned into a completely different. Same with the Juno 106 I have with a Kiwi update on that, gives it touch sensitivity and you can adjust the filter and you know, you're talking, it's just leagues ahead. Same sound engine, you know, exactly the same stuff inside it, but suddenly the movement within the.
Oops.
And don't know why I just got booted out. There you are. We still here? That was weird.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Just suddenly saw everything disappear on the screen. I'm not convinced yet about this. I was going to run a thing saying if anyone wants to try out this new system, I've got a code to get some money off, but I don't think I'll recommend it yet. So that was a freeze. I wonder. It'd be good to say in the chat how long we froze for then, whether it was just a few seconds or anything else. Just so I know.
From my end, it was 5 seconds.
Okay. Very odd. But what can we say? I guess if something's too good to be true, it probably is.
Yeah.
Probably is. My gosh, we've been talking for... Oh, carry on.
Yeah, we were talking about things later after Moog too. Continuucon was a fun thing.
I talked about that in the kind of coming up thing. So is the Haken Continuum, which is something I've not tried.
They're amazing. That to me, that is the most expressive electronic instrument there is.
Wow. In what way? In how are you quantifying this? I've literally, for someone who's never played one, is it easy enough to play? Is it?
No. It's. I wouldn't say it's easy to play. It is something. I mean, it can be, but it's a proper instrument. There can be a learning curve, and in some ways, you almost have to learn each preset as a separate instrument.
Wow. That's interesting.
Well, because they can react very differently. Like there's one where you can be hitting it percussively and it sounds like chopsticks on a piece of bamboo.
Yeah.
it'd leave one finger down, and all of a sudden it morphs into a blown Coke bottle that you can slide around.
Wow.
Yeah, just some really expressive gesture recognition in it.
Oh, I must check it out.
So sometime after Moog, I was in a band called Wave Formation that's still around. We were a 4-piece, now we're a 3-piece. But for a while, I was the only one in the band that didn't have a Haken Continuum.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was Gary Elton was in there. Had one of my friend Sally Sparks and Greg Waltzer. Greg has since moved out west, so we're a 3-piece now. But we realized too that there were 3 or 4 continuums on my. In Asheville at a time, so we were like a hotbed of continuum activity.
Are they hideously expensive by any chance? Because I really know nothing.
Yeah, they're.
Are they expensive?
There's a little tiny one that's not too bad. But it's a little bit different feel. The proper ones, there was like a half size and a full size, which I think they've now made a kind of a mid-size one. I'm going to say you're looking north of $5,000.
Okay, so it's up there as a proper.
Yeah,
okay.
And they also have a Eurorack module now too, with the Egan Matrix engine in it too.
Oh wow!
Could be a load of fun.
Oh my! I'm just looking at it. I'll throw it up on screen in a second. This looks like a great thing. I should know much more about it. So do carry on.
Yeah. So I had some putting on festival kind of experience from Moog. I was, as part of the original Moog Fest organization team. I did the Ether Music Festival there. Greg had been part of this long tradition of these synthesizer conference festival things in the U.S. called Electro Music, where also morphed into Mountain Skies, or depending on where they are, somebody else that ends in Skies. Mike Metley is very involved in that. He was just down here near Asheville a couple months ago, and we had
cool.
But it's like 40 synth heads getting together, playing for each other, and some audience and stuff. But so anyway, it's like, well, let's do something like this, for the Continuum, kind of help build community.
Yeah.
So it was great. We had people coming from all over. First one, we had a player from India, a couple people from the UK. Lippold Haken and Ed Egan were there, and I was doing mostly like web design, graphic design, videography, and there's a very full YouTube channel for Continuucon. I invite people to look at, and anybody that's at all interested in expressive electronic instruments. There, Lippold Haken's talk from the first one, where he explains what was needed to really make an expressive instrument. Everybody should hear that. He was a viola player, and like,
oh wow,
if you wiggle your finger, how many microns does it take for you to be able to to hear that, and that. So just a lot of he makes it understandable. But it's a lot of the physics and stuff.
Wow, that's insane.
Crikey. Oh yeah, Lippold's an amazing guy. His dad was an amazing. Lippold's an electrical engineering professor at Illinois. His dad was a mathematician and was part of the team that did the first mathematical proof that was proved using a computer. It was the 4-color theorem for maps. Like,
word!
You can do a map, and 4 colors. No 2 countries will touch each other the same color. And
right? Yeah. Absolutely.
But the mathematical proof that that really works was Lippold's dad.
Wow. Well, if you're interested in Continuucon, pop on over. I've just put the link in the chat there.
Yeah.
Get a few more subscribers in there, but there's some really good talks with Roger Lynn and all sorts of stuff going on.
Oh yeah. Roger was there. John Worthington, who's a great guy, was there. I actually worked with John a little bit. John, very fascinating. He led the team at Apple that came up with QuickTime back in the day. Oh wow, really? I think if I'm not mistaken, I think John also programmed Apple's MIDI manager and came up with the AIFF file format.
Just
But
a small contribution to music then.
he and Mark Bain have a project called John Bay, which is a kind of an MPE percussion controller that connects to an iOS device. But
Wow.
John came out to I believe it was the last Asheville Continuucon. So we did 2 of them in Asheville, and then third one was in France at Aircom, and then 4th one was again in Asheville, and then the 5th one was going to be in Portugal, but COVID got in the way. But there is talk that it may happen in Portugal in 2023.
Oh, wow. Oh, that could be brilliant.
That is not set in stone yet.
Mrs. Wiggly was born in Madeira, so she's Portuguese. So any excuse to head over there would be there.
I'm gonna have to connect my friend
definitely
Sally with them. My friend Sally is in Madeira right now.
Oh, cool! No, definitely. Just give us a shout. We love it. We've been back. I mean, Sophia has loads of family over there, big Portuguese family. So and she lived there till she was 10. And then came over to the UK. So in fact, she's on the phone a lot of times over there. So yeah, love to hook up. They've probably got common friends, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. No, I mean she's just visiting right now. But
okay. It's a brilliant place as well. It's a brilliant place. I was going to say because we're over time, but that was absolutely fine because we could talk forever. But it's worthwhile just finding a bit of future plans actually, and maybe hooking up another time for a second go, maybe to look at the Continuum a little bit more closer. But from your side of things, what's the game plan for the next year or two? Have you got anything coming up in mind that is inspiring?
I want to do, if COVID willing, I want to do more live performances. I've really done very few electronic live performances. I kind of got into a side thing playing Middle Eastern stringed instruments. Asheville has a kind of surprisingly large Middle Eastern music scene. So I've done probably the 98% of my live performances have been in that genre.
Wow.
And I like, I want to mix that more with the electronic stuff. I actually got into that by, Peter Gabriel, listening to Passion and that type of thing. And then when I met some folks in Asheville and actually even in South Carolina, I had a older friend of mine who I was just talking to one day and found out that he used to be a member of I think it was the Kuwaiti National Orchestra, and he was an oud player.
Wow.
So I was already into ouds by then, but it was I started talking to him, and this is kind of funny. His daughters were like really, really beautiful, like stunningly beautiful. One of them, his wife was from Ecuador, and one of the daughters had won the Miss Latina USA pageant.
Goodness me! Wow.
So I see this oud on his wall, so I start chatting him up on ouds, and he, I'm just this guy he knows didn't know I was even a musician.
Yeah.
So I started, and he just looks at me and he said, Chris, I must tell you, I have no influence over who my daughter dates. So I'm really
interested in the oud.
I'm really interested in
I
oud.
really am interested in the oud. Oh, that's not the first time he said that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
So live gigs and stuff is what, locale to you, or?
Ideally, what I would love to do is get into more like museums and galleries and stuff, and even maybe do some installation type work.
Oh, nice! Wow!
Yeah!
Wow! Have you done much of that stuff before? It's probably quite a hard door to break into.
A little bit. One of my first times playing in Asheville, I did that in a gallery, and did it a little bit when I was working in the art gallery. They would do like painting performances, so I would do like music for that.
Wow, I just seen a friend of mine is a really talented cellist, and he does a lot of looper pedals and things. He's got some really great albums, and he made an album with, I think, something to do with British Rail or British Underground, where they opened up one of the tunnels that had been closed for ages, and they used the reverb of the tunnel, and he did this amazing piece. But I just saw him posting on Facebook recently, playing along with a yoga class, talking about yoga from earlier. This incredibly soothing wonder, and it just was amazing. It relaxed me just to watch it, let alone not being in the class.
I did that once. It was me and the drummer that I worked with, and I actually had an Irish bouzouki that I was playing then.
Oh, right.
And my friend's playing a doom back, and we're playing this yoga class, and about 10, 15 minutes in, it's like, wow, it's getting really warm in here. Wow, it's getting really hot. It's like if we're both sweating, and we realized it was a hot yoga class. And that that wasn't a thing back then. Yeah, they had just come out. Yeah.
Oh man, so, how fantastic! How fantastic!
So we're like dripping sweat all over our instruments. Like, my strings were rusting.
Oh man, well. A lot of people are having to disappear because there's other streams are kicking off. So we've definitely outstayed our welcome. So I don't want to crash into anyone else's too much more. So thank you. See you, Doke16, who was our guest last week. And I couldn't pronounce his name like Moog and Moog either until he reminded me what it should be. Add it to my collection of mispronunciations. Thank you so much. Well, firstly to you, Chris, thank you so much for giving us your time and coming. It's been absolutely fascinating, and definitely get you in again to talk about some more stuff. If you've got live gigs and stuff coming on, let us know, because I'd love to feature a bit of the video of it or whatever when you're doing it, and we'll hook up again in a couple of months and find out what you've been up to, if you don't mind. That would be, that would be
those of you that are my Facebook friends, check my profile here in a little bit. I'll see if I can find some old mod photos of
it. Yes, very definitely mod photos, and I'll put them up next week. Don't forget, if you're still here, next week's 60th show, we have a birthday every 10 weeks. It's just an excuse for a party. Nice. Kent Spong, Ty Unwin, a couple of other guests, hopefully Inky. We'll do the usual stuff, nothing to do with music whatsoever. We'll have Ty, because he's not really very competitive, doing very competitive things, no doubt. And look out for a new video. Go check out the Vector vid if you haven't seen it. That's on this channel that I made last week. There's another one coming out probably next Wednesday. Will be the T8, I would imagine. And we'll do the same thing this time next week. I'll probably go back to the other system. Actually, it's good, this system, but I don't like the way it dropped out halfway through, and I don't like the way I had to reboot this end halfway through. Other than that, it seems to work really, really well. Anyway, thanks once again for everything, and we will see you, I guess, same time next week. Thanks, Chris, and look after yourself. Take care.
Urbanist connect so with the Ormond, link up the harmonized, left the termite, but beyond obsolete blessings, a birthright to live a language a la warminess like worldwide, cosmic love energy, I go herbicide free, organically, miss their worthwhile. Watch the way one of you take term-wise in terms of definitions and long termites. Yes, I check the eye. One side is defined by one side the other. I.e. I am an idea's man. I assign too much of the qualities of my child. Who's free if I'm talking like there's two of me? One is a construct, one is a creativity. The supreme one, all encompassing information in and of itself, most definitely. Another life infinitely, most life infinitely. Beyond the scripture, niceness can be. Blessed be. I continually miss pick up with being the infinity.